Hey everyone, Alex here. I wanted to do a little bit of a demo video for you to showcase Decision Journal's new ChatGPT plugin. So I'm logged into ChatGPT, as you can see. This is only available right now for Plus members, so you need a Plus subscription. But assuming you have that, how you can get the plugins, in case you don't already have plugins set up, they kind of hide it in the menu here. So if you go to your account, go to settings, there's a section in settings, beta features, turn the plugins one on. If you don't have plugins, I know they're rolling this out to more people over time. It'll probably come to your account if you're a Plus member. But if it does show up, just toggle that on. If that's toggled on, you'll see in GPT-4 the plugins, as you can see here. Obviously, it's in beta. You can select that. And then you can, see the list of plugins from here. In particular, obviously, to get this started, you go to the plugin store. There's no search capability, so you're going to have to find it. And it changes on which page it is within the results. But if you page through all the different applications, you'll be able to see it here, which is Decision Journal. Okay, so I don't have it installed for the demo purposes. I'm going to show you what that setup looks like. I'm already logged into my Decision Journal, so when I click this, it's going to take me to this page. So if I wasn't logged in, it would ask me to log in. If you're a new member and you never used Decision Journal before, log in, sign up is the same thing. So you go through that flow first, but then it should always land you on this page. If for whatever reason you don't land on this page after logging in, just go through that initial setup again, click it within Open AI, and then it'll forward you to this page. If you click cancel, it won't do anything. It will kind of back you back into ChatGPT. And then it also, nothing will happen. But if I click allow, which gives ChatGPT access to creating decisions, reviewing decisions, etc. So if you click allow, it's going to take a second, but it's going to kick you back into ChatGPT, and it should automatically select or show you the plugin. So as you can see, now we have Decision Journal all set up. That's it. You never have to go back into Decision Journal if you don't want to. You can, of course. There's an interface, if you're not familiar with it, on how to it shows you, how to analyze your decisions. You can do reviews, you can log things there. I'll quickly show what that looks like after we go through this walkthrough, but I just wanted to point out you can basically do everything just from ChatGPT, which is very nice. So anyway, we got that set up. I'm gonna enable 2 other plugins just to show you the power of having multiple plugins all together. So the first one I'm gonna click on is public. So this will give us the ability to look up stock market and financial information on companies, which is going to be the highlight scenario here. And then I'm also going to select Wolfram Alpha, which gives you the ability to run some calculations, which will also be handy. Okay, so the decision scenario that I want to kind of walk through as a demo for you is, let's say I wanted to make an investment in Apple. I was kind of on the fence. I'm making that decision. I'm not really sure. What's awesome about this is now you can use ChatGPT to help you make this decision, record it in your decision journal, follow up later on. So let's just say to ChatGPT, I'm thinking about investing in Apple. Can you help me with that decision? So it's probably going to give you a little bit of a framework here in the response of how to make that decision. It may also pull in some information from Decision Journal as far as the structure of that decision, but we'll probably get to that in a second. So it looks like it's just giving me some information about things that I can think about. We're gonna kind of speed this up. This isn't going to be a normal type of scenario like this that you might go through. But yeah, as you can see, it's already pulling public information on financial performance and whatnot from public, which is great, right? That's the first step. We want to do a little bit of research around this. So It's fetching that data right now. We can wait for it to produce the results. So this is pretty nice in that it's doing that like initial research step. Let's just say you were on the fence on this decision. You would probably want to know how its past performance was. You might want to like run your own calculations. You can do a lot of different things, obviously just from ChatGPT. But we're just going to showcase the decision making in the decision journal kind of functionality here. So pulled up a lot of information. Let's just say this is all looking good to you. And you're like now wanting to record the decision. Maybe you haven't made it yet. And the nice thing about Decision Journal is even if you're not making the decision that moment, you can draft something, put it into like pending status so that you could come back to it, review it later, and publish it when you're ready. So producing all this great information, giving you some earning estimates, analysis reports, fundamental analysis, etc. You could ask it for more, obviously. Again, this is not like a real life scenario. You should make your financial decisions with a lot more information and analysis, but this is a demo. So let's just say, okay, great. Thanks for that info. I'd like to now draft a decision to invest in Apple. Can you do that for me? Right? So this is kind of like pretty simple. It's now, pinging Decision Journal. It's going to come up with some information, be interesting to see what it logs within your journal. But often the other thing that it will do is kind of help you work through those different scenarios. So if you know anything about Decision Journal, some of the features is like when you make a decision, you want to record your context or the scenario that the decision is being made in, just to give your future self a little bit more information about how or what the context was when you made that decision. And then you want to record your expected outcome. And the expected outcome here is just like what you think might happen given your decision. This is really a crucial part in reviewing it later on, obviously, because then you can check yourself. You can eliminate hindsight bias this way, right? Because at the time of the decision, what were you actually thinking about? And then when you review it in the future, no matter how it comes out, you can actually reflect back on that part rather than the outcome itself necessarily. So it's taking a little bit to record it. We'll kind of pause here and come back once it's finished. All right. So we're back. It kind of took a couple steps, which is always interesting to see how it works behind the scenes. But as you can see, it drafted a decision. One of the interesting things here is it filled in a bunch of that information for you automatically without us actually having to, say much, right? Like the expected outcome, that was something it came up with based on what we've said so far. Context, same thing. So the important thing here is to note that you can actually change all this. Obviously, it comes out with outcome estimates, which we didn't give it, right? And so you might want to actually change these up a little bit. Let's say you do, right? Because let's say I'd like to change the probabilities on the expected outcomes. But the nice thing here is even though it did pre-fill the information, it's showing you what's, good information to record in your decision journal. So you can just ask it to update things. And it's as simple as saying, I'd like to change the probabilities on the outcomes to positive return, let's say 55% and negative 45%. Let's just say, right? It should be able to handle that pretty easily, update the existing one that you already have in draft, and then allow you to, review it again. Probably will produce it again, write it out for you. But anyway, this is kind of helpful. Now, another use case that I want to show off just to kind of like merge all these different plugins that you can use is expected value, right? So maybe when you're making an investment decision, you care about the expected value of that particular investment. So what's cool about using ChatGPT for this is that I can actually ask it to help me calculate those expected values. So I'm going to pre-fill in a message back as it's producing this, which is, great, can you please help me figure out the possible expected value of this investment? So this is great. Like, you can have the general concept of expected value, but not really know much about it. Just know it's important to think about when you're making decisions like financial decisions and whatnot. It's going to explain, all of this to you. What expected value is, how to do the calculation, etc. So that's what it's doing right now. It's giving you some information. And it's asking us a question, would you like to proceed with these values? Let's say, yes, those are perfect. So it's now going to take that hypothetical scenario, connect to Wolfram Alpha, do the expected value calculations, and then what we can do is actually take those expected value calculations and log them within our decision journal. Which is great, because then what you can do in the future when you review this decision, you can actually check, obviously it's a one-time scenario, so you're not going to be able to run many different alternatives of reality, but you can actually check back on that expected value. So it's done the calculation. Let's say, thanks, can you add this expected value to my estimated outcome, or to my outcome estimate, or I guess it's expected outcome. Anyway, it's gonna add it. It might put it as an expected outcome. It might put it as an outcome estimate. We'll see what it kind of comes up with. But what's nice about this is, like I said, you can do these calculations, walk through these thinking scenarios using all these different plugins together, then log it into your decision journal to really have a thoughtful decision-making process. Also making sure you're keeping track of all that stuff. It's gonna, keep highlighting all the things that it's logging for you. It's pretty nice because there's not much we actually had to, typically with Decision Journal, you got to go into the app, you got to, record all this information in a form and whatnot. You got to write this all out. And in this case, all of this is being done for you. So it's pretty nice that this is all being logged. And perfect. Let's say, we're ready. I'm ready to make the decision. Please publish it. Cool. So asking it to publish it should change the decision from draft status to published status. And then once it does, it'll be automatically scheduled for review. It'll send you an email in 6 months to review this decision. Decision Journal will handle that, but of course you can always come into ChatGPT and actually ask it. So for example, we'll play that out. Or that's another scenario. You can always ask ChatGPT to see what decisions you have for review, and then you can go through it and review it with ChatGPT, just like we did the decision-making process. I think what's really powerful is the combination of all these different plugins in one place. So hopefully that was a good walkthrough. I know this was a long demo, but I just want to highlight all the different things that you can do and walk through an example scenario with you. So hopefully that's helpful. Let me know if you have any feedback. See y'all.